can you share with the audience how much that one free YouTube video has generated for you in revenue?
$4 million. It was like I had this belief from an early age that if I spend money the right way, I can double it or triple it, but I need to make sure that I spend it the right way. Like, wow, because everyone was moaning about money constantly, and then when I realized that I could pay for another bucket and get more money without even washing a car myself, it was like, oh my God, like I am. I'm Charlie Munger. I was like, this is why I love you, and we've got this little group of like Avengers in this industry where
you coined that.
There's so many scammers and disgusting gurus, people out to just do people over. I've got no motivation to do that.
What's up, traders? Welcome back to the Day Trading Show. Happy New Year. I hope that 2024 is off to a great start for you. If you're new, my name is Austin Silver. I've got a special guest in the house today. I'm sitting down for the second time on the podcast with Jason Graystone. Jason is a friend at this point. I really enjoy the advice that he can give to me, to you, to our community in general. Jason has been a trading educator for longer than I've been trading. So I love talking to people like him on the podcast. There's just so much experience, so much wisdom that he shares. You guys are going to love it. We talk about how much money he made from his big YouTube video that came out a few months ago. Just crushed it. We talk about the inception for that. We talk a lot about his trading. We talk about his beliefs around money, his upbringing, and how that has fed his success. So enjoy this conversation with Jason Graystone. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of the episodes in 2024. I've got a ton of great interviews coming. Now enjoy the conversation with Jason. Real quick, guys, I want to thank today's sponsor, Top One Trader. There's many prop firms for you to choose from, I know. So why Top One? First, they're regulated by a bunch of different agencies that most of these other firms are not. Number two, they offer 150% refund on your challenge, which I think is a great refund when you get that first payout. Number three, you can start with $400,000 in initial funding with them and scale that to $5 million. So it's very scalable. They're very competitive in their max daily drawdown rules, their gain target rules. All of it is basically the same as the other firms that you guys all know. Check out Top One. I've got a link and a discount code down in the description, maybe flying in above my head. Check that out, save 20%. If they are running a bigger sale, use that discount code. Maybe it's Christmas, maybe it's Thanksgiving, whatever. Use that discount code. But if you'd like to still give ASFX credit for introducing you, please use our affiliate link. We appreciate that very much. It helps us grow the channel, do more podcasts, travel to get bigger guests, and so on and so forth. So thank you to Top One. Thank you guys, as always, for being listeners. Let's get back to the conversation. What's up, traders? Welcome back to the podcast. We've got a familiar face joining me today in the studio. We've got the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Jason Graystone. Mr. ClickFunnels, I think we got to call you this year, right, Jason? It's good to have you, man. How are you?
It's always good to be here, mate. Really appreciate you reaching out for a catch-up. It's always
absolutely
good. Always good.
Absolutely. I mean, it sucks we're not going to catch up in London for everybody listening and watching. We're filming this the last week of November, and I'm going to London for my seminar, and me and Jason caught up last year, and I met his son, and I was looking forward to meeting you again this year. But you know, your son's probably taller than me at this point, so it's probably a better look for me to not be seen around. You know what I'm saying? But so we're okay. We'll do the podcast.
He's taller than me, man. He's taller than me.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah. Since we saw each other last, I have a son now too, so I'm trying to catch up to you. I'm trying to, so it's
Mate,
cool.
Your son's got more hair than me.
Bro, tell me about it. We're walking down the street and people will be like, "Oh my God, look at all that baby's hair." It's crazy. Yeah. So we'll take it. You know, James always jokes with me. He's like, "Bro, can you cut some of your son's hair and send it over to me? I'll glue it on the top of my head." No, but this is good. I'm really looking forward to this conversation, Jason, because when we've talked before, we talked about your story, we talked about tier one, we talked about kind of building that business. Today, I want to talk about a little business stuff, but I also want to talk about social media, the content you're creating there. I feel like the tone has changed. And then I definitely want to talk about trading and just how trading has evolved for you over time. So let's start with the hook, the big question. Your biggest video of the year was a tutorial, basically a free course about how to get started trading Forex. Now, I skimmed it. I watched a good chunk of it. I wanted to get an idea for what you provided in the video before I asked you this. But can you share with the audience how much that one free YouTube video has generated for you in revenue?
$4 million. Yeah,
it's crazy.
Since May. So that's what, 6 months, something like that.
Unbelievable. I think most people would think that there is a hack to try to get that done. So can you break it down for us on what you believe? Of course, there's many variables, bro, the keywording, the thumbnail, but what do you attribute the success of that one video to? Was it the content in the video? Was it the funnel in the back end? What do you attribute that to?
Yeah. So there's a couple of things, right? So the success of the video, I just want to start by saying that video could have been posted on a brand new channel and got as many views as it got, right? And that's straight up, because all it was to do with is, because none of my other videos have done anywhere near that, right? So it could have easily been a brand new channel. Anyone could have posted that video. And what it all came down to in terms of why it got so much traction was a clever thumbnail, you know, something that I had an idea in the UK. I don't know if you've got it over there, but in the UK, we've got this whole For Dummies series.
Of course,
it's
we have it here.
Yeah, right, right. And I thought I'll be cheeky, take the little logo from there and modify it slightly. And it kind of was familiar for people who wanted to learn. So it was a clever thumbnail. It was a good title. And I created the video with this in mind. How can I create something where they'd never need me again? And it really allowed me to pour everything into one video with kind of this aura of no expectation back, like nothing in return. And
really, so you went into it not building this funnel in the back end. You just made the YouTube video and were like, I'm going to put this out to kind of make my life easier.
Obviously, I'd built an ecosystem of products in the back end, and that's partly, you know, that's a huge part of the success of the monetization of it, because the YouTube ad rev is about 50 grand on that now, right?
Okay.
So that's, you know, that's decent, 50 grand ad rev, but nowhere near $3.8 million on the back end, because of all the stuff we'd built in the back end. So yeah, I can talk about the product ecosystem, but I created the video with that in mind, because I believe, after, you know, building businesses for quite a few years now, that the more you give people everything for free, you know, the more they want to work with you. It's like they want to pay for the implementation. They want to pay to get closer to you, to hold your hand, to make sure that because they trust that you're the only person that can get them where they want to go, right? And you know, I'm sure you've done it. I've done it. I've spent like 2 hours with people on YouTube before, and I'm trying to find out how to email them and like, right, dude, I've got to pay you to teach me this, because I want to learn it from you. I don't want to learn it from anyone else, right? And that's just how trust works in humans. You spend a long time with someone, and you touch on different topics with someone. Maybe you see them in different locations, and you trust them more. It's like a bit like when you used to go on the holiday with the lads' holiday. You know, you'd meet some people around the pool in the day, and then you see them out at night, and they're like over you, right? Because the trust is built. The bond's there. Yeah, it's there. And I think with having that in mind, you know, creating something where I could say, how could I create this where they just literally wouldn't need me again? It allowed me to come across in a way where it was quite transparent that I wasn't really asking for anything. And I think people were blown away by it. So great, well received. Now, the back end of products, you know, this is where it really took us by storm. You know, about 0.25% of the people that watch that video, or 0.3% of the people that watch that video, then bought a 30-day trader program, which I'd built a year prior. And the idea of that was just spend 30 days with me, and I'll give you even more stuff that you need. And, you know, it's $300 or under $300. And it's like, who cares if you lose $300? You know, if you spend 30 days with someone. So what I wanted to do, instead of trying to give that to people straight away, I created the YouTube video, and then they got value from the YouTube video. Then they wanted to get their feet a little bit more wet, and there was the product already there. So $300. About 6,000 people took that program, which was about 0.3% of the 1.8 million at the time of the analysis of the viewers that watched the video. And we like literally 1.6 million straight in the old kitty. And it was like, wow, that's interesting. You know, and then we had obviously the more trust they build with you, the higher conversion rate you're going to get on those people to another product, next thing, like a bigger thing, right? So we had all this built, and we've been doing this for a few years. It was just that video that kind of lowered the disability ramp so that they could start climbing up it, right? It was like, it was a block until we put this ramp down, and then it's like lemming, like they were climbing up the ramp, right? That's literally what it felt like. And it was crazy to see very, very rewarding to witness, because it was something that we'd built and we'd crafted, and it was like we'd unlocked this piece of the puzzle. And then you just look at the comments on the video and look at the comments, and it's great, fantastic reviews, which obviously help the review, help the algorithm, because everyone's commenting positive things. And yeah, man, it just ended up that, like, you know, there was a natural conversion rate of people onto the higher thing, and then there was a conversion rate onto the reoccurring revenue thing, and this whole ecosystem of products just started to have this influx from that video. So
it's amazing. It's very admirable.
Yeah.
I feel like, okay, so I have a couple of follow-ups. First, when that many people come in and buy that initial product, how do you give them all your time over 30 days?
Yeah, so this is the beauty of it, right? So whenever I create a business, I try and get it to about $1.7 to $3 million mark, because at that point I've found is the sweet spot where you can automate pretty much everything. You need the less team members. You can, you know, you can make it as self-service as possible without the support tickets and refunds and all that kind of stuff. Bearing in mind, like, I've never paid for an ad. I don't even have a Facebook ad account. Like I've never placed one advert anywhere ever. Right. So all of this stuff is purely organic, and which means it's cheaper, it takes longer, but you're getting much more stronger fans and followers, right? Much more loyal fans. Whereas with ads, it's fast, it's expensive, and you're probably going to get a lot of mismatches, you know, people that aren't right fit for you. So that's the way we took it. And so that's the way I like to structure it. So all of these products are basically filtering out my time, where you can spend 30 days with me in a program that's drip fed over 30 days, but it's all pre-recorded, and I kind of tap into a Discord group and things like that, right? And then after the 30 days, you get in and you can get the next thing, which is a bit more obviously of my time. So I kind of filter my time to the higher end stuff still. And, you know, I've got a couple of team members that filter out my time for the lower end stuff. So that makes sense. It's just, amazing. And I found that when you go over that kind of 3 million mark, that's where you need more staff, which, you know, man, staff are just a pain in the butt. And, you know, you get more support tickets required and all that kind of stuff. I just find that I like to keep it really lean, and I'd rather, as do I.
I'm the same way, right? And they create multiples of those. I totally agree with that. Yeah, exactly. So that makes sense. So it's all kind of built in the back end. Do you have a lot of content that is repeated in that 2-hour video? Is some of that stuff also taught in the next phase?
Yes. Yeah. So the next phase is basically additional modules to the 30-day challenge.
So it goes deeper. So it takes the concepts and it goes deeper. Got it.
It goes deeper. But listen, it goes back to my point again about the more you teach people something for free, the more they'll pay you to learn it more. And I'll prove that again, because my Tears of Freedom program is basically my newsletter that I wrote 4 years ago. And if you read all of my newsletters, you wouldn't need the program, literally. But the fact that you've read them all makes you want it even more, because
it's so true.
Get closer, and you're going to get the tools, and you're going to get, you know, you're going to get me to show you how to do the thing, right? And it's just the beauty of it. Like, I think a lot of business owners are afraid to give away stuff for free. My newsletter was 5,000 words every Sunday for 80 Sundays, and then I read that thing out to a podcast, and it became a podcast, and then it became a program, and people buying the program, and, you know, they hadn't need to. If they just read the newsletter, they wouldn't need to. But as I say, it's all about the implementation, and they want you to help them implement. They want accountability, really. That's a huge piece of it.
Yeah. And I mean, people buy people. People don't often buy products in our industry, especially. They're buying into you. You build that trust, you build that authenticity. I believe this guy's going to actually help me. And I think that you're selling from a place. I mean, this is Gary V, the essence of Gary V, right? Jab, 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 then right hook, but also selling from a place of not trying to convince somebody or persuade somebody. You're actually creating obligation. This dude has given me so much for free. He's so consistent. He's the only guy I should go to. I had a guy sign up for our mentorship last night, and we spoke 4 months ago, and he's like, dude, I just binged all of the podcasts that we've done since then. I've done all the videos on YouTube for free. Now I'm ready. It's like those people realize you've given them so much value that now they just want more, subconsciously, consciously, both of it. So I think it creates and it's a great relationship to be with your customer. You don't give a lot of refunds. refunds. You and me both don't have a lot of chargebacks. You know what I mean? Because those people, they want it.
I'm not in business to do all that stuff. Like, I'm in business to become friends with people that work with me. Like,
make a positive impact on them.
Absolutely. And this is why, like, especially in our industry, you know, I said to you many years ago, this is why I love you. And we've got this little group of like Avengers in this industry where
you coined that.
There's so many scammers and disgusting gurus, people out to just do people over. I've got no motivation to do that. And I don't care telling you that you're not right for trading, or I don't care telling you that I don't need your money, or, you know, you shouldn't be trading. I tell more people they shouldn't be trading than I do offer them my service.
100%.
What a way to be. I mean, I can sleep at night. I can look my kids in the eye. You know, they're proud of me. And
well, you're living at a good standard. You're putting your morals and your belief system before everything else, which is great.
Absolutely. Now, so regardless of that whole ecosystem, man, like, no matter how much money we made on the back of that, I can sleep at night knowing that it all went to right people, you know, good people. And there's nothing. The worst they lost was $300, and they realized it wasn't for them. That to me is great, right?
Exactly. And when you put the content together, because you've been making YouTube videos for a long time, did you have any inclination that it was going to become this big thing? Or were you just like, hey, this is one thing, I got to get this tutorial done because I want to get this in check? Did it become like this thing that you kind of had a little, you know what I mean? Like when a hit song is written, they're in the studio and they're like, oh my God, this is it. Is that how you felt?
That's exactly, to be honest, that's what I would liken it to. It was one of those videos that I was really conjuring up, you know, sitting in the studio, putting some time and thought into how I could really, really swing this thing, right? And it was like, this is going to be the one that gets me to #1, you know, and the one #1 Christmas song. And I was sitting here doing it all, and I launched it, and it got to about 10,000 views relatively quickly, about a month. And I thought, you know, I pretty much gave up on it on that. I was like, 10,000, you know, that is a above average performing video on my channel, but I thought it'd get more, and I forgot about it. And then I just forgot about it. And then May comes around, and you can see this in the stats from the analytics on YouTube. May comes around, and it's since May, 500 subscribers per day to this day, and still going on. Like, it just triggered something, man. And now, like, we hit 100,000 in I think it was June or July, and now we're nearly at 200,000 now. So
yeah, that's how it is, bro. It starts to roll. Yeah. So I was gonna say, it's taken you 8 to 10 years to build to that point, and then it doubles within a year, basically, which is, I think, a common thing. I think you do hear that a lot. So before we go off of this, do you ever think now that this has been successful, how do I do it again? And does that take away from your trading in any way?
Yeah, well, my trading is my trading. So my trading is something I use as a tool, and I'll do that forever. So is my investing, stock investing. I'm an angel investor. You know, I've placed you know, tens of thousands of pounds into angel investments and startup businesses this year. So those are tools that I'll always use to grow my money. My highest value is like security and freedom, and like, to the point where I've got a problem. Like, if I lose something, I could lose this hard drive, and I have to order this on Amazon, so I've got it tomorrow. I cannot stand it, mate. I can't lose things. It does me in. And that all stems back from when I was a kid and we had no security in there, you know, all that kind of stuff. Although deep problems that we won't go into on this podcast.
Well, we kind of went into them in the first one, everybody. If you want to hear about, remember the car washing story that you told in the first one? You want to go back, everybody, go watch that one. But okay, keep going.
Yeah. So, oh man, I've lost my train of thought. But basically,
no, I was just saying, does it take away from your trading? And you're saying, no, it's always a tool. Yeah, because trading doesn't take a lot of time per day from you, right?
No, it doesn't. I've spent less and less time trading. You know, I stopped day trading in April 2020, and I haven't day traded since then. And that was because I had a big win, and I got a little bit emotional, and I thought, I don't know what's going on with COVID, so I'm just not gonna bother picking that up again. And to be honest, it was for no other reason than I just thought, I need to think about what I want to do with the money, because I didn't know what was going on outside. There could have been other opportunities where I could put that money somewhere else, or shuffle it around a little bit. Maybe there was other opportunities coming, so all this was going on. And then when it kind of stabilized again, I thought, you know what? I'm spending like half hour a day trading now, and that's really suiting me. I'm getting better, and my strike rate's getting higher. I'm becoming a little bit more aggressive at taking better trades. And I guess that's a natural organic path of any trader anyway.
Sure.
And I thought, this is good. So now how can we make more money and inject money into, and just use the trading, use the investing, and grow and grow and grow.
Of course.
I wouldn't say it's taken away. It's made me more focused on my overall wealth creation strategy as a whole. And in terms of trading education, I'll always have a love for that, because I'm just a geek. I love.
You're
trading.
a geek, but you're a giver too. Like, you give a lot. You've always given a lot, and I think that's a characteristic within you that a lot of people admire. In this position now, I want to just touch on one thing before we keep off of it. You made the mention of transitioning from day trading to swing trading. That conversation came up today in our Black Shirt Club, and it comes up pretty often, I'm sure, with many people listening. Just talk to us a little bit about, lifestyle is what everyone's going to say is the motivator behind that. Maybe some people will say statistics, and I see that the swing trades will be better for me. But really, for you, like, what was the motivator, and what does that transition look like? Do you go back to doing demo trading for a couple of weeks and feel it out, or do you just instantly move over to higher time frames and holding trades longer? What's up, traders? I just want to take a second from today's episode to thank myself. I'm being funny, but also being serious. ASFX TV is the proud sponsor of today's podcast. Now, some of you might not know what ASFX TV is. Maybe you're living under a rock, and I'm here to pull you out. What we are now offering is for less than $1 per day after your 3-day free trial. You can watch me and our team of funded full-time traders every day, at least twice a day, London session and New York session, as we navigate the live market. You can watch to see the strategies applied from our course. You can watch to see how we're constantly developing them and trying to tweak them and improve them. You're going to see how we navigate through news. Really, what you're seeing is the ups and downs of full-time trading. We don't shy away from our losses. We don't shy away from showing more wins. We show you the real reality of being a full-time trader. So I've got a link in the description for a 3-day free trial. Like I said, I want you guys to come check it out. I appreciate you very much for listening to the podcast, for being a constant viewer, staying through with us, and I want you to enjoy many more podcasts to come. But I also want you to make money with us, and the way that I can help you do that is on ASFX TV. So hit the link, come check it out, and enjoy the rest of the video.
Yeah, I guess it's different for everyone, but I always had 2 trading accounts. So I always had a day trading account and a swing trading account. And the swing trading account was for kind of longer term, wealth building, which I didn't touch. My day trading account was more kind of income.
Sure.
And although I compounded it to a degree, there was about an 18-month period where I was just taking income from that day trading account. And that was quite tiring. It was quite, you understand this, right?
Oh yeah.
It's tiring and it's great and it's amazing. But if you get the opportunity to take your foot off the gas a little bit, for me, where I was at in my life, I'm 42, man. I've got other things going on, and I just thought, yeah, I'll do that. So I was already doing 2 in parallel, so it wasn't really a major transition. I'd already, I've got 27 pairs that I watch on a swing trading checklist in trend and reversals, and that does me. The day trading was a bit of pocket money for me, if you like. So
just leaning into almost like your natural strength, right? It seems like.
Yeah. I mean, it requires less. I always reference stuff to music, but it's like guitar playing. Like, people often learn the guitar and they want to play like the fastest flipping Metallica song or something, man, on day one.
Some crazy
right?
riff,
it's like,
right?
It's like, if you just learn the same chords and play a slow song using those chords, you'll build the muscle memory. And then as it becomes second nature, you can just speed it up and play it faster. Yep. And that's kind of the transition that's how it's the exact same skill on swing trading as it is on day trading. You just need a heightened focus, and you do the same thing, but faster, and there's a lot more noise. So going back is like, oh, this is fucking easy. It's like right. Playing Metallica riff and then going back to playing like the Beatles or something.
Right. It was gonna say free fall and Tom Petty, something like that. Exactly. Are you playing live music now? I think you're jamming out live.
Yeah, mate. We're doing some great live local gigs. Yes, it's awesome.
Who are you playing with? Just friends that you've met in town?
I've been part of a band on and off for years and years.
Really?
And we just play together there. And we also got a load of local live talent that rock up, and we yeah, we record for them, and yeah, it's just
Dude, and
awesome.
how
Love,
fun is
love it.
that, bro? That is the best, right?
Real
That
fun,
is what
man.
I'm missing in my life because I grew up playing piano. I
He
was
was
a
a
DJ
DJ,
for a
mate.
long time. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
music's a big,
I
and
remember.
every morning I listen to my music and I'm like, God damn, it'd be great if I had the guitars still hanging. I sold all my guitars when I was 17, 18. I was like, I don't need this. I'm a DJ now. And I would kill to have those guitars again, bro. Because there is something about being on the computer all day and like tippy tapping away, as we always say,
Yeah,
and then doing something in like almost real life. You know, computer stuff is
yeah.
computer stuff. It's digital life. I'm talking about like real life, creating sound and then captivating
Creatives.
people's
Yeah, yeah,
creative stuff, captivating people's
yeah,
attention in a different way, right? Not with a good thumbnail and a good title, but with a good
yeah,
common
yeah,
love and appreciation for music.
yeah.
I wanted to make one more
Totally.
comment about the thumbnail, not to keep on this video. Mr. Beast
Sure.
says that. He says that he starts with the thumbnail and the title before he thinks about
Mm.
the content of the video. Did you know that before you made that video?
Yeah, I made the thumbnail for that video in October the previous year.
There you go.
So that was the first thing. I was just looking at my bookshelf and I thought, dummies. And I thought, that looks cool. And I just thought, wouldn't it be cool to do this video on trading for dummies? So we mocked up this thumbnail. I thought that bloody looks clean. You know, that's a cool thumbnail. And then I just thought, right, if I ever do the video, that'll be it. And when we were testing that thumbnail, I was sending it to people on their phone and making, squeezing it down so you could see it. And yeah, we did put a lot of work. As I say, it's one of those videos that I really did. I never normally think about YouTube videos. I'll be honest with you. I just put out whatever I feel, and
Right.
I'm like, yeah,
Right.
have it. I don't care if you like it.
Right.
Know?
Same.
And this one, I was more like, yeah, I'm going to tailor this to a specific person, and it, man, it pays. It pays.
It pays. I think the relatability of it definitely makes it very eye-catching. And for everybody listening, this video is linked in the description. I want you guys to all check that out
Awesome.
too. We want to make sure everybody gets to see it because I actually encourage people, and I want to know your thoughts on this, to share their trading journey, share the content along the way. And I think a lot of people are scared to, of course. They don't want to share their losses. They don't want to share their mistakes. When in reality, what videos other than this one have done really well for you and me? The losses, the mistakes, they always do the best, when you embrace your own mistakes and your flaws because they're relatable, just like the thumbnail. It's relatable. That's what people want. But I encourage people to share their content because I think it'll make them better overall. But I think a lot of people have the idea of like, God, this is such a slog, to use a British term, right? This is going to take so much time. This is going to take so much of my energy and blah, blah, blah. Well, in reality, you actually can work backwards. Like Jason just said, create a thumbnail in October, film the video content around that, drop the video. And then even 5-6 months after you drop the video, then it pops off. So it's really this whole process that you just have to embrace, right? Like you've embraced the YouTube journey for a long time and it's paid off. That's where you find your best clients, I'm sure, right?
And I started it just like that. Mike Bellafiore, right? And these traders, they review the tape and they're pulled in to review the tape every day. They do that. What better way to do that than to pull up a screen recorder and literally publish it to the world? That's what I started doing. And I became known for this kind of anti-hindsight trader because all that was online was like, oh, look at this win. Look at this. I always post trades as I'm looking at them before they've even played out. And then I post it. I don't even follow up. I'm like, there you go. It's in the internet forever. You can go and look at what happened next. I don't care. And I think that's very refreshing.
I took that from you. Go watch my videos from 2017, 2018.
Yeah,
it'll be me
amazing.
at the start of the trade. And you'll see the timestamp at the top. Video ends, it cuts to the second clip. I'm in the trade, cuts to the end. I took that same concept from you because I think that was what stood out. Yeah, it's just what people wanted to see. They don't want that hindsight.
Like,
you're Monday morning quarterbacking. You know what I mean? If you just sit here and go over markups, it's easy. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly that, man. Yeah.
So who are some of the people now, Jason, that you're looking up to? I know I see you working with Aaron Knightley, doing a lot of content with him and I think that guy, Daniel, I think is his name. What's his last name? Daniel
Priestley. So so Aaron Knightley, I'm kind of a business mentor for him and coaching him through some of his business that he's creating. Nice. Daniel Priestley's a business partner. So I've just put, we've got one of the startups that I invested in with him, Score App, in 2019. That's due to sell at the end of next year for 100 million, best case. So that's that's going well.
Well,
yeah, it's going well. Yeah. And then,
bro, you put 10 grand into it. I mean, you're probably going to cash out at least, if it sells for 100 million, you're making $1 million, $2 million right off. You're going to double what you made off this video just on that sale, right?
Yeah, we put a bit more than 10 grand, but we'll make in excess of $1 million on that.
See, that's using, I think for everybody listening, you have to understand, like, you want that big sale. A lot of people want that big cash out. But how many things has Jason done, not overspent and gone past his means, made good financial decisions, and compounded one win into this? That's what I think we need to highlight, right?
And it's a skill of being a risk manager. Like that's what a trader is, being a good risk manager. And if you're an investor, you're a risk manager as well. So there are certain skills you need to learn about angel investing. You don't just give someone some money. You want to see the forecast. You want to know what securities you've got. You want to know kind of the time horizon. You want to look at the person and see what they've got in the game, what skin they've got in the game, what reputation they've got to protect. And all of these kind of things play a part in me making a decision to hand over 50 grand to someone, or 30 grand or 10 grand, and that comes with experience, and it's another skill you have to learn. So, but once you become a good risk manager, you'd find that you do get a lot of great returns, and it compounds. It's great.
Have you been burned by any of those investments?
Yeah, I mean, little things. I mean, I've started lots of businesses, from divorce education companies with, and support companies with people, to clothing and all. I've lost count, honestly. But
the clothing one, bro, that one is always the least profitable. No margins, tough marketing. That is so tough.
Yeah, the goal for that was to immediately get a influencer marketing. So it was going to be a big brand and all the rest of it. But yeah, usually it comes down to, the ones that flop usually come down to a passion not being there. That's what I've found anyway.
The founder isn't really in it.
The founder's not really in it, or I'm not really, like, I don't give a shit about clothes.
No. Right.
It's like, I don't care if you sell a hoodie, man. Like,
no,
I really don't care.
We're talking to the guy that lives out in the forest, and right, exactly, bro. That's what I'm saying. You're the wrong guy for that one. I think maybe like an education course on how to get rich, get off the grid, and live a free life. That's why Tears of Freedom is your bed. It's your bread and butter, bro. That's what that is.
Yeah.
So being a risk manager is important to talk about. It's about, like you said, in money management, trade management, lifestyle management, risk management is everything. What do you do as someone who has become successful relatively early in life? Like, you were successful well before this. What do you do as you make more money in order to not stay so risk adverse? Because most people make more money, they want to take less risks. How do you fight against that?
When people make more money, they want to take less risks. Is that what you said?
Yeah. They're very conservative. You make 100 grand for the first time. Let's go bigger than that. You make your first 500 grand year. You got all this money sitting in the bank. Some people won't deploy it to stocks. Some people won't dump it back into their own business. Some people they'll sit in cash for a very long time because they're afraid to lose it. How do you fight against that?
I think me personally, in my personal story, is I've always seen money as this, it's called currency, right? So I see it as current, like it has to flow. And what that means is it has to come in and out in order to keep flowing and growing, right? Otherwise it stagnates. Yeah. So that's a great analogy for money for me, because I've always taken a lot of risks from an early age, and I've put my belief in, if I spend this money a certain way, and this literally goes back to my car washing thing, where I bought the bucket and sponge from my friend to help, right? That is literally where I learned it. So it was like, I had this belief from an early age that if I spend money the right way, I can double it or triple it, but I need to make sure that I spend it the right way. What I don't want to do is keep it, and then that's all I've got. I can't grow it, right? So from an early age, I got very comfortable with taking risks and spending money, and making sure that I wasn't selling the flipping house or selling the donkey or whatever. But I didn't want to sell the donkey for the magic beans, but I wanted to sell enough of it to get something that was going to potentially help me, or have a higher probability of doubling my money or growing my money in some way than not. So
great for a kid to be thinking about, because it stays with you for life, as we can all see.
It did, and that was purely from the car wash, man. If you haven't listened to that story, that is literally it. It was, as I said in that interview, it was like I'd been lifted 60,000 feet and discovered fire in one day. It was like, wow, because everyone was moaning about money constantly, and then when I realized that I could pay for another bucket and get more money without even washing a car myself, it was like, oh my God, like I am I'm Charlie Munger. I was like, I was
It's
like, this
true.
is incredible.
Well,
Yeah,
you learned
yeah.
the power
So
of leverage. You learned the power of the currency and what it can do.
yeah,
But I think the key you said there that everybody should take is into the right things, where some people will make some money and they will quickly throw it into their business, but it might not be in the right things. For example,
that's very
buying
common.
Facebook ads, as you just have
Oh
proven,
man.
you don't need to do that, right? Like I spend very little on Facebook ads every month, but in the
Mhm.
networking group that I'm in, they always, the guys that I'm in that group with, they have physical
Yeah,
products
20
and
grand. Yeah,
they crush it on Facebook ads every month,
yeah,
50, 60, $80,000, but the return, they'll go make 100, make 120.
yeah, yeah,
I spend $3,000, maybe $2,000 per month at max. And I'm not even selling.
yeah,
I'm just trying to get names and emails for my email list,
yeah,
which is where
yeah,
I do a lot of
yeah.
my selling. So to me, some people will take the money and invest it in the wrong thing, which again can also lead to fear. But I think what you and what I would like the audience to take from you is you don't ever act in a place of fear because of your self-confidence. That story early on about
Yeah,
you cutting your teeth as an entrepreneur, and I'm sure there was many other stories after that as you
yeah,
got older. You've
yeah.
proven to yourself over and over again, take it all
Over and
away
over again.
from me, I will be able to get it back. Take this business away from me, I'll go start another one. And I think that's
Yeah,
the thing that I really love about you, because it's your belief in yourself. The vehicle doesn't really matter. It's
no,
self-belief is where it really
yeah.
starts.
And that's the same with, with my wife. She's seen me take risks throughout our whole life together. We've been together 21 years this December. And,
Wow.
she will say in the beginning, she was like, what are you doing? You're
Of
crazy.
course.
You're
Of
mad.
course.
Like, you're
Right.
mad. And I appreciate that because it made me sense check. Actually, am I doing the right thing? And then went for it. It paid off. And then over the years, I did it more and more things paid off than they didn't. So it was like now it's like I don't even get questioned. It's like, oh,
Right.
Jay, yeah, of course.
You
You
earned
just
that
you just
right.
do your thing. You do
Yeah.
your thing, right? And I've given a belief, and it's great to have been able to demonstrate that and lead by example to my kids as well, my
For sure.
boys, because they've witnessed me do that and they've seen what life we've created from me doing that, and it's allowed them to be more in charge of decision making and make sure that they're confident
And I'm
in
sure you
taking
talk to them
risks
about it. I'm sure you have had many
all the
conversations
time,
all the time, so
all
that
the
you
time.
want to
Yeah, all the time.
impress that upon them. Yeah. And I
Yeah,
think that
yeah,
as you and you continue to share that message, I believe, at least in America, people are not very incentivized to be entrepreneurial, where they need to hear the message that you and me push, to the point where like this viral clip of Grant Cardone was going around with him saying, if you make less than 400K a year, you should be embarrassed for
yeah,
yourself. And it was, the idea is very pretentious, but I think like the idea beneath that is be entrepreneurial, be, have some balls to go and
think
say, you know
bigger.
what,
Yeah, yeah,
think
yeah,
big. I'm going to try and not
yeah,
be afraid to fail. Just like you and me have told many traders, you're going to take losses. You can't act from a place of fear of taking losses. You're going to take them. You got to get good at it. That's the same way you look at businesses. I'm not going to hit on every single one, but I'm going to hit on more than I don't. And when I hit, we hit big. And when we lose, it's risk controlled, right?
yeah, absolutely. And then you eventually get to a point where it becomes almost monotonous and just a process. It's like, okay, well, this is going to be a 5-year play, this is going to be a 10-year play, and you just stack them up.
Yeah.
And we all know that in your mid 40s is, if you're on that road, mid 40s is where it really kicks off. That's where you
Yep.
really have a lot of success. And
Yep.
I'm looking forward to the next 10
You're
years
already starting
to
to see
really
it, bro. It's going to be
enjoy all
unbelievable.
those.
You're on the way to the
Yeah.
B, bro. You're on that way to that big B. What are you worried about now, Jason? I'm sure everybody's like, they followed your journey. What do you worry about?
Oh man, we could go real deep conspiracy theory, but I don't think maybe
I'd
that's
like to.
another
I mean, I'm
podcast.
curious. I mean, is it a political instability? The way that people are thinking,
Man,
the victim mindset that we see. I mean, I'm sure the audience all agrees with you on that because that's what you're saying, right? In that sense.
oh man, if we go into politics, I mean, there's all sorts of things. Like, there's a lot of people being put up in hotels and around our way, and like coming across the border, all being put up in hotels, and
Bro, it's
we've got
crazy.
someone in power who's in favor of it, and I don't know where that could go. And but again, we were talking about this last night with my son, and it always comes back to like, everything moves in cycles. I think
Sure.
everything is there for a reason. I feel like everything is there to set balance in some way, and I think whatever terrorism there is, that serves a purpose in some way to make us more to make us better humans, for us to appreciate peace in some way. So I've got these kind of, real out there ideas about that, and it's very kind of polarizing views, if you like, and probably
I don't know
not
why it
right
is
for
though.
this podcast. I
no,
know,
it's okay.
I know,
but you know what I mean? Because I think there's bro, you've heard the saying, the silent majority. That's you and me in the middle, where we probably agree on 99% of things, but it's these people on both outliers that are very loud that have the power in some sense, and it makes it hard to be like, do I want to say that I don't want to take in migrants from a different country? Is that being a bigot? Well, no, it's respecting the culture of your country that was founded how many years ago and trying to honor that, right?
Exactly that, and I'm very much of the opinion that this isn't my country. We all can live where we want, but I am a believer in, I've done my dues and I've contributed to this country, so I've output something that has provided value for this country in some way.
At minimum, it's taxes.
Exactly right. So I believe that I would like to see a more kind of filtration system of people willing to give to the system. And I've got some really extreme views.
Give us one. Come on, give us one. I want to know one. You can't tease me and not, come on, you got to tell me, like, how would you do that?
I would put a GDP figure or an IQ on being able to have kids.
I don't hate that at all.
And I don't know how that would work, and I don't know how it would be managed, but I feel like there are too many people.
Let me manage it.
Pumping kids out.
Oh yeah, and it's the stupid people and the poor people that have 6 kids, 7 kids, and then the guys that do well, like you and me, have 1 or 2.
That cost, and they cost the most tax, and it's like, well, that's not fair.
No.
There should be a management system there. You can't have another kid unless you are outputting this GDP or this.
Right.
You are contributing in some way, or
totally agree.
Or your IQ is this. I don't know how harsh that is, but something along those lines, I think would be a great step towards controlling.
I'm in it. I'm voting for Graystone. Graystone for Prime Minister. But in America, bro, I've been telling people for a long time, I think if you want to vote, you should have to pass a civics test and understand a little bit about the history of America before you just vote. But then here, the left, sometimes they want you to have a driver's license when you drive a car, but you don't need a driver's license to vote.
No,
there's the rules are very weird. And someone said back to me once, well, are you in favor of people that want to buy a gun to have to take a test? Absolutely. You should have to go and take a test before you just buy a gun. Do you have to right now? No, just show a driver's license, you get a gun. Do I like that? Kind of. Could I be with it the other way, with more testing in place to keep it filtered? Absolutely. Yeah. But then you start infringing on freedoms, Jason. Now you're stepping on people. You're telling me I can't just go buy my gun. Yeah. That's an American right. Yeah. Well, hold on. It's a different America than it was in 1776, bro. Exactly. I mean, bro, even look at the way they teach us history. Look at tomorrow. It's Thanksgiving. We're honoring genocide in America. It's crazy. It's just, but it fits a narrative, you know what I mean? And that's always, like you said, it's the people that are empowered. How do they play to their narrative? The politicians are public servants, yet they have 4 houses, 5 houses, $200 million net worth. You're serving the public and you're worth $200 million.
It's so broken, man. It's so broken.
So broken. And again, just like I think you and me are going about it the right way. And I'm sure majority of the audience for the podcast agrees. You can either complain, you can run for office and think you'll make a difference, or make enough money because you realize that money buys the politicians and money buys you what you want. Money buys you freedom. And that's the route that you and me are taking.
Yeah. Just win. Like that's it. So going back to your question, it is just like, what am I worried about? Yes, there's lots of things that can change and lots of things that can turn, and we're going to see cycles of terrorism and cycles of destruction and all the rest of it. And yes, there's some momentary short-term things that you could be worried about, but ultimately, if you just are one of these people who just figures out how to get around it and how to win regardless, like, you're going to do all right. So, there's a winners win, right? So
I love that, bro.
Because
listen, I started playing golf. You see on my social media, I've been playing golf now, and I'm not the best golfer in the group. Okay. But when we have money on the line, I don't know if it's because I'm Jewish or the way my dad raised me, bro, but I know how to win. And I get guys that are better golfers than me to have to pay me money because I know how to fucking win at the end of the day. And it drives them mad, bro. So I think that is a true thing. You got to learn how to be a winner. And you know what I think teaches that? Sports. entrepreneurship and
Right.
things like that. But sports is such a good
Yeah.
thing for kids. I think that has made such an impact on my life, you know?
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
to pivot us a little bit back to trading, I want 3 books that you think every entrepreneur has to read. They don't all have to be trading books, but maybe make at least 1 or 2 of them trading books. Hit us.
Yeah. Okay. Entrepreneurs, from a friend of mine, Daniel Priestley, if you get the chance to read Oversubscribed, read it. That is the best book in business, as far as I'm concerned, because it's very relevant for today. And I've kind of swallowed it. It's like my Bible for business.
I'm buying it today.
Yeah, trading books is there's a book called Trade Your Way to Financial Freedom by Van Tharp.
Van Tharp.
I don't know. Yeah. Great book. Terrible title, but it's a great book. And I would recommend that one. And oh man, everyone says the Mark Douglas one, Trading in the Zone. I've probably recommended this book on your podcast like every time I've been on here, but yeah,
it is good though, isn't it?
I'd have to.
He's so good, bro. You ever see his stuff on YouTube? It's timeless. He has these videos on YouTube too that are like hour-long presentations. Timeless. Like it still applies. It's amazing.
Yeah, I regret. It's a shame that I didn't get to interview him or talk to him, because that would have been a great conversation.
Did you ever have the opportunity?
Yeah.
Really?
Back in back in 2016, I went to New York, and we were rounding up some people, and one of them was Denise Scholl, and one of them was potentially Mark Douglas. It wasn't confirmed, but I would have loved to have done that.
And when did he pass?
It didn't happen in the end. It was around that time, 17, I think.
You're right. Right when I got into trading is when he passed, I remember. So it was a little bit after that. Yeah, that would have been a good one, bro. Because if you go on the internet right now, there's no really high quality, highly produced, really good interviews of Mark Douglas. They're hard to come by. So I think that would have been legendary. Who in the trading space do you look up to, Jason? In this space here specifically?
Man, people that are doing a good job of helping traders. I try not to kind of, people like you, mate. You inspire me to, you inspire me because you're doing the right thing. I just like good people, and I like people to do well. And I don't like seeing people make a quick buck off of someone's misfortune. And I don't believe, anyone that I talk to or associate with, I don't believe they do that. So, anyone like that.
Good answer.
People. Yeah.
Do you believe trading is a zero-sum game?
Well, I mean, if you're just out in the market and you're in this arena where you've agreed to take part and you will take someone's money, and you're just in isolation of that, then I guess you could argue that is a zero-sum business, no different than boxing or poker or golf. But there's a lot that you can give as a trader. So I it swings and roundabouts. The amount that I've been able to give to my family, to other people, to, that as a result of being a trader has outweighed that zero sum. It's like, this is, everyone's getting a good deal because I'm able to trade. That's how I feel. So when you look at it that way, you could argue that it's not a zero sum. Doesn't really answer your question, but
no, it does. It's a great answer.
It is, but yeah,
that's exactly how I would describe it. So final question. Why do you sell education, Jason? Why do you do what you do as far as the courses and now the YouTube video with the click funnels and everything like that? If you can trade, everyone asks, of course, why do you do this?
This is going to be a real blunt reason. And a lot of people will be like, wow, I can't even believe you said that. It's to make more money so that I build more wealth and literally live out my values of financial freedom and making as much money as I can so that I can serve as many people as I want and be fulfilled and have a great life. That's why I do it. So
I love that.
There's nothing but honesty in that answer, man.
No, and it's the truth. Do you find that people that ask that question have been burned in the past through coaching and through courses, and that's why they think, oh, he can't be good at that and teach it?
Yeah. Oh, totally. But it goes back to like the first videos. Like the only reason I got into it, if you get down to the deep, like why I educate, I only got into it because I was sick of all the the crap. So my education journey started when I just literally started letting everyone watch me trade my account live, because I thought there's nothing bad they can say about this. I'm trading a live account, like, you know, this is the reality of it. I was sitting there in my pants in the morning, and you know, there was so much crap out there, people selling the dream. I thought, sod it, I'm just going to get the truth out there a little bit. And it just paid off. Like we built a great community, word gets around, and then you kind of start getting demands from people to go, can you teach me this? Can you teach me that? So it's almost like an organic thing that you have to create because of the demand that's there. And if there's a monetization to that, then of course you're going to do that. It's, you know,
Well, when you're an expert, is surgery free? Is a lawyer free?
Exactly. Mate, I don't have a taboo around money. I don't get the whole thing. I want to make as much money as possible. That's it, right? So
I love that about you. You embrace that. You don't try to hide that, which a lot of people. But you know, like their upbringing makes them kind of scared. They think money is the root of all evil. They think
you can't talk about money.
You can't talk about money. No, I'm trying to make as much as possible.
Don't tell me how much you've earned. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Why? Yeah. Exactly. Man, that's me.
I love it, bro. And this is why we get along. These conversations fly by. The hour's over like that. So tell everybody where they can connect with you, bro. Well, we got the YouTube video that we talked about down below. Where else should we send them?
Yeah, you can check that out. That's great. JasonGraystone.com. You'll find some social media stuff there. My podcast, I always like people to listen to the podcast. If you go to episode 1, that'll be cool. Let me know if you're still listening to episode 6.
I think most will. Beautiful. Jason, it's a pleasure always. I'm sad
that we're on there, man. So we got to get
bring me on, bro. Bring me on
next. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm sad we're not going to see each other next week, but I wish you and your family the best through the holidays, through the new year, bro. I can't wait to keep watching you in the new year. Keeps just blowing the competition away, bro. It's admirable, like I said, and I really mean that. So thank you for the time, listeners. We appreciate you. We'll see everybody in the next episode. Have a great, happy new year, everybody.
Thanks, man.